Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review. Tonight it is, of course, Fan Forum, and we do have some people ready to come in. Almost had a bit of a disaster today that the show may not go ahead because my MacBook Pro, 6-month-old, over £1,000 system, decided not even to put its screen on this morning. Fine last night when I closed it down, went to bed, got up today to use it, and nothing, just a fan noise. So it's been sent away. It's probably going to take about 7 to 10 days. So I'm left with my daughter's laptop, which isn't the most powerful in the world. But hopefully we get through it, guys. Hopefully we get through, because there's a lot to go through tonight. Obviously, the victories over Southampton and the fantastic performance at Chelsea. You know, the questions that were asked to Eddie Howe, what is going on with ASM? A lot more fans seem to have turned on him. Those that were having a dig at Danielle last week. Seem to have had a go at ASM themselves this week because he didn't obviously stay on the pitch to applaud the fans. And a lot of fans have really started to have a little dig at him. So we've got a lot to get through tonight. But Alex, I mean, it's all basically coming down to the Everton game, and on Thursday night, that should be an absolute cracker. But, you know, I'm still reeling a little bit off Chelsea because we were so hard done by.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but we've just got to crack on and get on with it. We're fortunate that Everton is a game we should be taking points from at the bare minimum. It's not like we've got a stacked set of fixtures necessarily like we did in December. So just got to crack on with it. And Maxi wise, controversial. I don't quite get it. I love Maxi, so I don't care that he plays board games. I would prefer him to clap the fans. I don't like that. You got to clap the fans. Yep. That's really important. But beyond that, I'm not bothered as long as he turns up on the pitch. Obviously, in training, a few of the lads. I mean, Trippier mentioned in his interview that he can be. I mean, I don't want to misquote him. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was something about attitude. He can be the best if he sorts that out.
Yeah.
I'm not too bothered. He'll turn up. He'll turn up soon. In terms of maybe he'll start at Everton. We'll see. And then when he goes and bangs in goals or has a crazy performance, everybody will forget about it again. So I'm not worried.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
He needs. To be honest, though, he does need a good performance. He does need to come back, and he does need a good performance, because I think a lot of the fans at the minute are just a little bit on the edge with him. They're sort of not sure which way to go at the minute. But it's.
I think he came on in very difficult situations.
He did.
Came on late as a sub, and Maxi seems to be best with a plan, and it was quite erratic. So we'll see what he does when he starts.
Yeah, it's even to see what Gary says there as well. Obviously, Callum Wilson doing some light training with the team as well. So that's very good to see. Good evening, Pedro. Hope you're well. Toonza says, I'm just cooking some mince and onions with peas and carrots and mashed tatties. Thanks for that. Enjoy. Lush. Good bit of food there. Trolls is in the house. Gary says, any news on injuries? No, none at all. But I'll be interested to see what Eddie Howe says in his press conference tomorrow, because I'm sure hopefully he'll be asked footballing questions instead of politics. But, we'll see, because it's getting to the point now, Alex, where I think, these idiots in the media that are asking all these questions and persisting on asking these questions are then just going to get banned from the press conferences.
Yeah, it's a never-ending circle. They say that the fans and the manager and all of us should be talking about it, and then if anybody does talk about it, they never get the answer they want. People have mentioned about the whole execution things about the USA still has executions and things like that, and then they went, well, yeah, but the USA doesn't own Manchester United. It's all right.
I know.
You never, whatever answer we try and give, like, what's the point in asking us the question? Because we don't know. We're not leaders and politicians. It's not our fault. We're just fans.
One for one and one for all. It's crazy, man. Honestly, does my bloody head in half the time. But hey ho, it's time to bring in some people. Welcome back on the show to Chippers. We've got Jason. We've got the King of Qatar in the house. We've also got Luke, Private Investigator. We've obviously got Rohan as well. Let's see if my computer manages to cope with all this. Evening, chaps.
Evening.
Yeah.
Evening,
Chippers, nice to see you back on, matey. I hope you're getting through it. Obviously, with your granddad and that. We send all our thoughts to you, mate, and you and your family. So we'll not touch on it too much because I know it's still a bit raw with you, but we're still thinking of you, mate.
Paul, can I just quickly say just thanks for the messages and everything. Just appreciate. Just thanks for the messages, everybody, and thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem, matey. With pleasure. Right. Who do I start with? We'll go with Mr. Well, hang on a minute. We got a new member crept in the house there. Southern Magpie 101. Thank you for your new membership. Welcome to the Toon Review family. Mr. Caviani.
Hi, mate. How you doing, lads?
We're okay, apart from my MacBook, which I'm very pissed off about, to be honest. Because I know what they're going to turn around and say. You know, you send these things away, and then you get a phone call a week later saying, there's water damage. But I'd love to know where the water's come from, because it practically lives in my studio. So there's been no water near it unless some ghost in the middle of the night has come and poured some water on it. But I'm waiting for that excuse. But we'll see. Anyway, the last two games, Southampton, Chelsea. Obviously, Southampton, brilliant win, brilliant performance. Dug in hard, worked their asses off. And then Chelsea, well, what were your thoughts?
It's a mixture of pride and anger. I'm proud of every single play on that pitch that day, but the referee just ruined it. And what's the point of having VAR when you just completely missed this? Every single person seeing this knew it was a penalty. You just not give it. And
what's interesting to see, the games he's already refereed with us this season. Of course, the Aston Villa one, the Man City one. It's very, very. The Brighton game was a one as well. They're just logging up on him, and I don't understand, Jason, why these referees aren't asked to come out and explain their decisions. Because why wasn't he asked to come out and explain his decision? Given the lack of VAR for our penalty shout, 10 minutes later, Werner goes down the other end and it's referred to VAR. I mean, what the hell is going on?
Conspiracy. I constantly want to keep saying conspiracy going on. Everyone wants to protect the big six, or the big six. They want to protect the referees. I remember about a few weeks ago, I remember hearing that just because the referee may be a higher rank than the ones in the VAR booth doesn't mean that they can still say, we think you made a mistake, but you need to go and check this. They're too scared to say to higher ranked referees to go and check it because they've made a mistake. They're just letting them do what they want, and obviously they screw us over countless times. So I was expecting it, the way amount of times we've been screwed over.
Kieran says there's nothing we can really do about the horrible referee, and so let's just not focus on it too much. I know what you're saying there, Kieran, but we do, because we've been screwed over so many times this season. It's been ridiculous. And, I've laughed at people who've said in the past, screaming conspiracy. But I'll tell you something. When you look at it closely, it is bizarre how decisions didn't go our way on Sunday. I mean, the penalty incident was just incredible. I mean, Jacob Murphy literally has his shirt ripped off him. And there's camera angles everywhere. Now, when you see the referee's view of it, he can't see at all. So why is he not saying the VAR, can you check that? Or VAR saying, go to the monitor, you've missed it. Why? It doesn't make any sense. We'll bring Ryan in. Good evening.
Hey, guys.
Luke, what's your thoughts on it? Because I can't get my head around it at all.
What, the game or the penalty in particular?
Where do you start? I mean, look, to be honest, you ask yourself questions. This one, I'm at a loss because, the excuses that the Chelsea player came out with, saying, he's 6'9" or whatever, and, using Dan Burns' height as an excuse to elbow him in the side of the head and give him an injury like that, which, by the way, changed to a basketball by the end of the match. I mean, it was like he had, I said in the review,
he had an Easter egg on the side of his head, didn't he?
Yeah. It's like he had two heads. I mean, it's
well, it was a really, really bitter pill to swallow, just in general, I think. penalty aside, the game, I know I said, like in the build-up, I said, oh, we'd get beat 2-0. And I definitely thought that when I saw the team announced, but to go and play the way we did with a completely reduced team, and it was just like to think that the run was ended with a defeat due to those circumstances was just a really bitter pill to swallow. So, especially considering, I mean, you didn't even mention there the kick to Bruno, which could on other days have been a sending off.
I've got that one as well. I mean,
I know you've been mentioning it during the week, haven't you? Like that was annoying, but I mean, for me, it was a definite red, and for him to come out and say, oh well, the guy's 7 or 8 foot tall, so kind of excusing why he jumped. Surely that means that if he jumped that high, if the guy's that tall, and he still elbowed him in the side of the head, then that means that his elbow was really unnaturally high, because he's given the game away by saying, oh, he was so big. So, but you connected with, so if he's that big, your elbow should hit him in the chest or something, not the side of his head. Yeah, so he's definitely went for it. You could see, I mean, you could see it from a mile off, and they've excused him. And the penalty, it's been mentioned, it was just atrocious refereeing.
Ludicrous.
But VAR need to step up there, not just the ref.
Well, we'll come on to VAR. We'll come on to VAR a bit later, because we need to talk about VAR.
Bunch of fucking clowns.
Well, they are, yes.
That's one way of putting it, mate.
We've got to try and find a way that VAR works as it does in other countries, because why it doesn't work over here, I think I know the answer. Steph says, hello, everyone. I'm currently trying to find a mouse in the house, and my cats are on patrol. Well, Steph, hopefully you find the mouse, and we don't have any poltergeists in the show tonight. We'll find out. Munches, what's everyone's thoughts on ASM? Personally, I think he's more interested in his game. Chippers.
Literally, man, I just we all know he's a top player, but I think for me on Sunday bringing him on was a mistake, because we lost our press as soon as he came on that pitch. We lost something, and he didn't offer us anything when he was playing. It was when he came on, I thought, yep, that's it. We could get something. We could go and win them, because it was 0-0 when he came on. But I just thought it'd help them a bit more, and that's when they started to push up a bit, and we lost a bit more help. I think if we both maybe Fraser on instead of him, he would have continued the press, and I think it would have kept more pressure on the defence. But the last 20 minutes, it's.
I mean, I was a little disappointed when he went down injured, and he didn't get up when we were under pressure. Now, I must admit, it was when you see that sandwich on him again. I mean, he did take one in the ribs, to be fair to him. But I just think if that was any of the other players, they would get back up and battle back to their feet, no matter how much pain they were in, because they know Chelsea were on the attack. I think that's where people have an opinion on Maxi, whether or not he's a team player. Rohan, I mean, what's your thoughts? I mean, should Fraser have come on instead of Maxi, do you think? Or do you think he brought Maxi on to have that outlet to try and maybe nick the goal?
Well, clearly, Eddie didn't bring on Fraser because he thought there's no point risking him. He must have quite severe fatigue. That's why he only chucked him on for the last couple of minutes to try and get a point. Yeah. So I understand, but you throw it in a game at Stamford Bridge, you throw in Maxi in the deep end, bringing him on there after he's only just come back from injury. He was clearly not fully fit at all. You could tell the way when he had the ball, but I would have just kept on the two wingers. I thought they were doing a fine job, and Miggy never really gets injured or he doesn't get cramp, so I would have just kept him on. To be honest, I wouldn't change the wingers. But that's just
I think Ryan, more people are very upset because he didn't go over and applaud the fans. Now it's the second time, at least the second time he's done this, because he did it when I was at Anfield, and he walked off with Willock. The fans chant his name and he's warming up, and then he just walks off the pitch when the rest of the squad, including the coaching staff, all come over to the Newcastle fans. I find that a bit naughty from St. Maximin, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I guess going off what people say, if he actually did.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did.
Yeah, there's a picture. Yeah, there's a picture.
He did walk off. He did.
I don't really see why he's doing that, because we're on such a good run. Well, we were, and then we're on such high spirits. I'm not gonna slag him off well, like I just think he shouldn't be doing that anymore. But I'm not gonna like abuse him for it or something like that. Like I think Eddie Howe should just have another word with him. I feel like maybe if he's playing and he's getting more consistent games, maybe he would. But I feel like whenever he comes back from injury or he's on as an appearance sub, maybe he feels like he doesn't have to say anything, which I don't know. It's a weird subject, and like it's something you don't really want to see, but hopefully it's out.
Yep. Shane over in Australia, he says, I couldn't be fussed if Maxi doesn't clap the fans. Can guarantee 75% of the players don't clap the fans. As long as he turns up against Everton and rips them apart, I don't care. Interesting. Steve says, Everton will suffer the backlash from the frustration of the Chelsea result. Well, I really hope that's the case, because we really do. But you know what it is? I mean, Alex, I know you've sort of defended Maxi, and to be honest, I want to see him go on the pitch on Thursday and absolutely rip Everton a new one, because everybody knows how I feel about Everton Football Club, and if we have the players to destroy them, then so be it. Go and destroy them. Do you think he'll pick Maxi though from the start? I mean, it's very interesting because, you know, we'll talk about it on the preview show tomorrow as well, but I just think Eddie's got a lot of big decisions to make before this game, because some people really did turn up against Chelsea and did stake a claim for a first 11 players.
I don't know about that. I think Maxi walks back into the team. I think people need to cut him a bit of slack. He was injured and sick. He made a sub appearance. He's not match fit. He was brought on to try and make a difference, and he didn't make a difference because he's not match fit. He tried. He lost the ball once, and he won it back for his own recovery and hard graft. And he wasn't beating his man because he's not match fit, and he wasn't as confident. I don't know what people are expecting of him. He's not got the Ballon d'Or yet. It's an aspiration, and he's trying. I think he walks back into that team on the left wing. I don't get it personally. I don't get it. I think people set the expectations far too high for Maxi. We'll just take the good with the good and the bad with the bad. I don't agree that the press dropped off much either. I think the system changed to try and get him on the counter, and it just didn't work because he wasn't match fit and he wasn't beating his man. I agree that he didn't do great, but he might have done, and that was the risk that Howe took. So probably most of us would have done the same.
That's fine. Does anyone disagree with what Alex is saying? Has anybody got a different opinion on ASM to what Alex has?
I wouldn't.
He walks in for me.
He doesn't walk in for me.
Right?
Why, it's subjective, right? It's
this is what I'm asking for. I just want to hear people's opinions on. You know, it's very interesting to see the difference of opinion as to, why does he walk straight back in or why doesn't he walk back in? Ryan and Alex clearly saying he does, which is fair enough. That's their opinion. I just want to get a sort of feeler to why some people don't. Go on, Jason.
Just by his name alone and the skill that we've seen from him, everyone expects him to walk straight into the squad. But from what ASM has annoyed me so many times with his ball hogging, we all know about his ball hogging, and every time he gets clipped, he goes down. He's making a big scene of his whenever he goes down. But yes, he didn't have the best of time against Chelsea. We all know that. Again, maybe match fitness is all that, but I think Fraser and Murphy on the wings is working pretty well at the minute, and I wouldn't change that. Why would you drop Murphy from a winning formula to bring ASM back in? What's it going to do to Murphy's confidence?
Well, shall I rebuttal that, or?
Fine. Yeah, go.
I mean, Murphy obviously set up the goal the other day. And then put in a good defensive performance, but we don't necessarily always want a defensive winger on to stay in shape, and hit on a couple of sprints per game until he gets knackered at 70 and has to be changed anyway. I'd rather have Maxi in. But on the flip side, he's triple marked. as we're getting better and better players on the pitch, with our transfers are now starting to start games, and players are becoming more confident, if people are going to double, triple up on Maxi, there's so much space. This is why Willock had a lot of better games leading up to ASM's injury, because there was just so much space on that other side. I mean, the only argument you could say is Fraser's looked great on the left when we've had control of games. But in recent games, we haven't had control of them, and Fraser's not done much because he can't do that if we don't have control of games. He's not done his crazy left wing play crossing because we haven't had the ball. So whereas Maxi,
I don't know about that.
Well, when did he do it against Chelsea? He had a great game graft-wise, but we didn't see lots of wing play crosses when he came on.
Fraser didn't come on until after Chelsea scored.
Yeah, when he came on, and we didn't see it against... There was hardly any
time to do anything in the game.
Well, previous game as well.
Southampton.
I'm not seeing a lot.
Can I just point out, guys? Can I just point out? Those of you viewing this at the minute, this is what a friendly, healthy debate is about, right? Without any abuse. It's fantastic to watch. Different. I mean, does anybody else share Jason's view on this?
I'm 50-50.
I think he walks in too, because I like Fraser, but I feel like we give him too much praise just because of effort. Like, it's more than just effort. It's about quality as well, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. The one thing I'll say on Thursday is that whoever plays at left wing is up against Seamus Coleman, who has got legs made of glass. Yeah, so whoever plays on our left side should skin him. Yep. Doesn't matter whether it's Murphy or ASM.
Kenny and Coleman in their last game, so that's why I want Maxi on the pitch.
That's why we need Maxi.
Tillman, you won that last time, didn't he, against Everton?
Exactly.
Yeah, he did. And I think that's why ASM should probably play, in my opinion. I see where you're coming from, Jason. It's a good point. Why upset the apple cart when Murphy and Fraser have been doing really, really well? I just think that on the flip side of that, the Everton defence, not great. Not great. Not a lot of pace. And I think that's where we can utilise somebody like Maxi. But again, we'll see what Howe says. But Manchester Mag says Maxi is our maverick, and we just need to stick with him. He will flourish under Howe once we have better players around him to help occupy defenders. At the minute, he gets double teamed. That's also a good point, I guess. You mentioned that, Alex, that he does get double teamed a lot. Can people stop saying, I hope my search history was wiped and I've been watching porn? It's nothing to do with that. Thank you very much. I have a very, shall I say, very healthy relationship with Susan. I will go no further than that. I don't need to watch Pornhub like certain viewers do. But never mind. We'll move on. Geordie Riffs is sending you love chippers.
Can I just say to all of that you've been mentioning there? The thing to remember about it is... Definitely not the porn, mate. Not the old Frankie Vaughan. No, the fact that we're having these, healthy discussions, as you put it, that's just such a breath of fresh air, considering we would have just been ranting constantly about like the previous incumbent. Now we're having the same sorts of discussions that Eddie Howe is, where he's saying, who do I leave out? Why do I play this certain player in this particular game? We're having discussions about it, saying you don't want to necessarily leave someone out. Where not so long ago we're saying, get that piece of shit out, get someone else in, try a different formation, try fucking anything. But now it's no, everyone's playing well. That's really refreshing. We need to remember that rather than just be like getting downhearted, because we're on the up, man, lads, man.
We did miss one thing as well, is we didn't mention Bruno. Maxi's not had many minutes with Bruno, and every time we've had a bit of a grip of a game, Bruno's key passes and through balls have been absolutely magical. So I want to see several 90 minutes where Bruno's got the opportunity to pass to a runner instead of static defensive wing backs, because Maxi's going to flourish with those kinds of passes. We've seen a lot of them, to be fair.
Yeah. Roy, what did you make of Bruno's performances? Two starts.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to talk about his goal against Southampton, because that was just, that was just filth. I mean, if you want to talk about porn, then that was football pornography right in front of you, right there and then, because like you said in the review, Alex, he deliberately turned that way to backheel a volley. I mean, I've never seen a goal like that for a long time. And if anything, it reminded me of Robert's crazy sort of 6-yard volley that he did
a scorpion
years
sort of
ago.
kick, wasn't it?
scorpion, bloody lizard, snake, whatever you want to call it. I mean, but that was just filth, Roy.
It's called Brazilian instinct.
Well,
I think they're
Brazilian
born with
flair.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'll probably try it 100 times and I probably can't do it. Especially the ball.
It's not being talked about enough for me by the media. I mean, if someone like Harry Kane was to have done that, they'd be creaming all over the shop, waxing lyrical. Bruno does it, and they're sort of saying, "Oh, did he mean it? Did he not?" Like, however, it was just absolutely brilliant. Like,
now,
of course, he
been
meant
on the raw
it, man.
meat today, son.
Always, mate, always.
Bloody Alex was on the raw meat the other day. You today. I tell you what, it's interesting. Jason, what was your thoughts on Bruno's performances? Does he look like somebody that we can sort of build a midfield around, I guess?
What a breath of fresh air he is. What a player. I think when I saw the replays of it, it's like he knew that ball was going in. That's why he didn't even bother looking to see where the ball was going. He knew that ball was in. I was like, oh, I can see many goals coming from this lad. He is amazing. I am so glad that we got him. I am so glad that he said to Arsenal, do you know what? No, I want to wear the black and white.
Bruno's effing magic. He wears a magic hat.
He could have signed for Arsenal, but then he said,
the away end. I was in it when it went in. It was mental when we scored.
Oh, I mean, I don't think I celebrated very much on the watch along, but I think I could imagine a lie. But you know what it is? I think it's newfound. And listen, I didn't think we played particularly great at Southampton. I don't think we were on top of our game at all. But it was one of those games where it's the sign of what Eddie Howe's built, Chippers. It's a sign of the confidence going through the team. It's a sign of, what this team's all about now, falling a goal behind, but still now battling back instead of putting the heads down thinking, right, we're beaten, let's give up. Because we've seen it so much earlier on in the season.
Well, funny enough, I was just going to say, I thought we played better at Chelsea than what we did at Southampton. Obviously, you're going to have to because they're better teams, but I thought we played better on Sunday than what we did on Thursday. But it's just, like I've said, it's the mentality. It's the mentality of the game's not over until it's over. And that's, I mean, just think under the bloody cabbage, it would be a case of, we might as well just turn the watch along off, turn the tellies off, just throw the towel mentality. But it's completely different. I mean, how many times have we come back recently in games where we've took the lead and you've thought, we don't look, even on Sunday, we didn't look, apart from obviously the officials intervening, we didn't look like getting beat. That was the thing, we don't look like getting beat in games.
That's what I was going to say. We've got this, mentality now where Chelsea didn't hurt us at all. I mean, very rarely on Sunday did they break through. There was a header from Havertz, which went obviously straight to Dubravka, but it was a moment of magic. It was a fantastic pass by Jorginho, the touch and finish from Havertz. That's world class, and that's what we've got to look forward to in the future. Whether we think Havertz should have been on the pitch or not at the time, it doesn't really matter. When you see a piece of brilliance like that, you kind of think, oh God, these are the kind of players that we can look forward to in the coming years, playing in black and white shirts. That have got a pass in them like Jorginho found Havertz the other day, a touch and a finish like Havertz did. It's just something I really look forward to. Now, I think Havertz is a little twat, and Jorginho, if I could have got through the computer screen and punched him in the middle of the face the other day, the whinging little twat was unbelievable. And Ziyech diving around like some kind of baby. Every time he goes down, it's like he's been shot in the head with a bullet. Ridiculous. Yeah. Alex, I want to ask you this, but if you bear with us 2 seconds, because there's a super chat coming from XFC Florida. I take it it's still CFC. Paul, calmer finally, but still disgusted. Indeed. Thank you for the $10, my friend. And making her appearance, a debut, it's Barbara. Good evening.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a bit nervous, that's all.
Don't be nervous. I know, Chippers gives that kind of impression, but you don't have to be nervous. Don't worry. Alex, I just wanted to ask you, Alex, a question from Neil there. Why do managers have to face the journalists who ask questions that have nothing to do with football when refs don't have to face the press at all? This is something that a lot of people have mentioned over the last few days, and it's something that I can't understand as to why these referees are not accountable like football managers and players are after the game.
Yeah. There's so many opinions and so many sides on this. As for I feel like I understand a lot of people saying that the journalists have the right to ask questions, and fair enough, they do. But they have to appreciate that the football manager is a football manager. Maybe clubs need to start putting representatives in to ask alternate questions, because it's not fair on football managers. They're not obligated to learn about politics and things in the same way that we don't have to learn. We don't all research deeply the companies of the products we buy before we go and buy them from supermarkets and brands. We can't do. We'll never get anything done. It would be ridiculous. So maybe they need a club correspondent for press conferences to answer difficult questions like that. If it's not football related, might make more sense. And as for the refs, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Them being in front of the camera, I think they could do with a complete overhaul from top to bottom of their processes before they even think about that. It's just a complete mess. I think putting them in front of a camera is just going to cause more controversy, because then we're all just going to get really upty with the interviews because they're going to be speaking absolute nonsense. They just need a huge internal review. I mean, Mike Riley's, I don't know what he's doing as the chief of that.
Mike Riley's as bad as the rest of them. It needs overhauling, and somebody needs to take a hold of these referees who, I don't know, maybe somebody like a Kalina from abroad to get these referees into shape, because something drastically needs to change. Barbara, I mean, we spoke about a couple of things. What's your view on Maxi?
Mixed opinion, really. We don't really suffer when he's not playing, I don't think,
Yeah.
And sometimes
would you start him against Everton?
He done nothing when he came on the last game, I thought. So,
fair enough. I mean, well, John says here that Almiron was superb. I'm not saying that. I mean, Rohan, Almiron.
Look, that's the sort of game that suits him. When your back's to the wall, you need someone to run his heart out. But playing against Everton, I wouldn't even bring him off the bench. Like, he showed that he's not good enough quality wise to win us a game. He will look like the Chelsea game, 5-4-1, the formation. Him as a winger that needs to go up and down. That's a perfect thing for him, because he's good defensively and he works his arse off. But besides that, he's got as much quality on the ball as Jacob Murphy, and that says a lot.
I think that's harsh. I think Jacob Murphy scores set pieces and he's got a good foot. I don't think, apart from Almiron's attempted left volley that was on target, Almiron doesn't score free kicks and outside the box for it, does he? Very often.
I mean, that volley from Almiron was incredible, to be honest. I mean, we've never seen that from him at all, ever. And it's just a shame we don't see more of that from Almiron, because
I'd be surprised if we see it again.
Well, I highly doubt we will, to be honest.
But he's nice to have as an option now. If he's going to put in that kind of defensive shift, we've still got Liverpool and City to play again this season. So the fact we know if we can rely on that to turn up, he's an option if we need somebody. So that's something at least.
I like him. I like him as a personality, but I don't think he's going to be here long term. I'm pretty sure that he's going to be moved on in the summer, to be honest. My opinion. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if Eddie Howe does move him on.
Listen, I think Miggy could end up in Spain or France or somewhere like that, to be honest. Probably where the league suits his game. We're getting a lot of comments in disagreeing with you, Alex, about ASM. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting getting people's different views, because I mean, Gary's asking there, would we sell ASM in the summer?
No.
I don't get why. I mean, our other wingers are all 28. Maxi's 25 with a lot more skill and a higher skill ceiling. And the things we're talking about can be trained out of him. Decision making about passing, tracking back. These are all tactical things and decision making. Whereas Almiron and Murphy don't necessarily have the talent or the ability. So it's one's trainable, one's not. So I feel like Maxi's just worth the chance. Why not? Give him 2 seasons in the team with better players after a few transfer
exactly.
windows. If he's not there, he's not there. Then fair enough. But why would we bin him off to go and get another left winger that we might not know can do? Because Maxi's going to hit 10 this season easy. If we go and buy another left winger, are they going to get 10? Maybe, maybe not.
When he's not the sole focus for other teams to put 4 men on, if we're going to buy better players in the summer to play in that team with him, there's nothing to say that he won't get a bit more space and just be fantastic. He mightn't be, in which case you find out and you move him on. But he could also be absolutely fantastic with better players around him, and that's a chance you've got to take next season on him.
That's what I said earlier. We haven't French squad eventually, because imagine if he gets in the French squad and we see him play, that's when we'll know if he's actually better with better players around him.
Good point. Good point. No problem. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. We all have them. Just ask John Sinclair. Dean says, I personally love ASM, but I think he gets frustrated because he knows he keeps getting doubled up on, which must be frustrating for him. But I can see that point. But if you want to
isn't that though why we got Wood in? Wood takes those players away from him. As soon as ASM gets that ball, he goes back to them because he wants to take them on so that he can upload his TikToks every week.
Oh.
But you don't want to start Wood or ASM, so who's your front 3 for us, Jason?
That's a good point, actually. Yes.
You don't want any of that.
No. If you watch my last video, if you look at my last video, I gave Wood a lot of praise. I had him down to score against Chelsea. But where we are rotating the squad due to these games being so close together, I would actually rest Wood on Thursday. We finally saw.
We have 2 weeks break after that.
We finally saw him.
Whoa! Let him have his say. Go on, Jason.
We finally saw him enter that pitch at long last. Why not just for one game? Give Gow an hour.
There's more chance not seeing a dinosaur in the crowd.
He's the only other striker option that we have. If Wood's going to be playing all these games, don't you think he's going to be
Jason, after the Everton game, we don't have a game for another 2 weeks.
That's true. It's
Chelsea. Like if it's a free hit, you should have rotated him if you wanted to against Chelsea, and then he's fresh for Thursday. Which, if he's 80% fit, I'd still play him over Gale. Like that's simple.
With Everton's defence, that you would fancy anybody to score against them at the minute, so I'll play him because he fancies chances.
Yeah. SD Campbell says, Maxi will end up being a liability. I dislike his huffy, all about bratty attitude. Come next season, he won't be our main attacking outlet too. I'd be happy replacing him.
Joe Linton was a huffy guy. He was constantly whinging on the floor. He wouldn't get up, track back. And now look at him. These things can be changed. Like,
how many times over the years have we seen these enigmatic Frenchmen who are exactly the same as Maxi? Ginola, Robert, Ben Arthur, and probably more as well. Kabay was a bit like that, where that's like the Gallic flair. And I mean, that comes with the territory with Maxi. People have got short memories for me, like, unless they don't remember those
thing
players.
I mean, you know, the comment that came in about Maxi before, saying that he takes the huff because he's always doubled up on. I think if Maxi, if he wants to be this flair player, this world-class player, he's going to have to expect that, which is why we probably need to see him just release the ball a bit quicker and not try and dribble every time he gets the ball. Because if he finds a bit of space, then he can use his skills to utilize that, surely. It's just that sometimes he's not releasing the ball when he should. Paul Bradbury says, I think as fans, we need to choose what we want. Maxi is an enigma, super talented, ego selfish, but oh my God, how does he get you on your feet? Could have a grafter, but will they do the same? I'm for ASM. Malcolm
I feel like there's nothing wrong to have one player like that either. Like, as long as the whole team, I think one player in a squad can all get away with it. If you're like PSG, where it's like full of egos, then no, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
I think one or two.
It clearly doesn't work at PSG. It hasn't worked for a long time. George, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, buddy. Proud of the lads on Sunday. Has the aftermatch photo in the dressing room been published yet? No, I don't think there was one taken because I think everything was probably smashed up in the dressing room, to be honest. Barbara's back with us. A few internet problems, Barbara. Are you there? No. Never mind. Toonza says he's not injured or sick. He throws a hissy fit and sulked.
I mean, he was.
What are you going to say to that?
I mean, there's a lot of... There is a lot of negative stuff on Maxi in the chat, I have to say, more than I thought there would be.
Considering all the controversy a few weeks ago, this is weird.
I thought the show would be more about us bitching about the refs.
You wouldn't think we only lost one game in 10.
Yeah.
Just assuming something based on.
I thought Maxi scored.
He didn't clap the fans, so therefore he's in a terrible mood and he wants to move. And
yeah,
just conjecture. Yeah. I mean, just.
Can I just mention when you guys say about him getting doubled up on? If we buy a talented right winger and another striker in the summer,
pressure's off.
That's not going to work anymore. Because if people double and triple up on Maxi, then we've got equally talented people across the front line that are going to punish teams. So when we upgrade our players man to man, that's not going to fly anymore. So it's just not working at the moment on occasion when he does get a bit too selfish and there's nothing down the other wing anyway. You know, you've got to give it time. You've got to give it a few transfer windows and see what it's like.
It's interesting. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, we welcome Mr. Proudlock onto the show.
Hello.
Jason, Chris Wood bagged his first goal for the Toon at Southampton. Being the biggest supporter of Chris Wood there ever has been, how do you think? How did you feel when he nodded that one in the net?
Bloody awful! Bloody awful! No, I've got a bit. Credit where credit's due. I've always said when I call a player out, when I call a manager out, I want to be proved wrong. I want to come on the next video and say, yeah, do you know what? I got it wrong. Fair dues. Mm-hmm. He deserves the credit. He finally scored a decent header. That was credit to Shelby for an amazing cross there. Got his head to that part. He had a great game. I couldn't find no fault in him at all for that match. Probably against Chelsea.
The ball. I thought he was rotten against Chelsea, in my opinion. I thought he was very poor. I thought his first touch was dreadful. Listen, I'm not taking away from his work rate because his work rate was fantastic. Pressing, getting the lads higher up the pitch, I'm all for that. No problem at all. But he has got to trap that ball better. He's got to control it better. He's got to give us a bit of a breather. Luke, for me, his first touch was non-existent against Chelsea. But again, it was all about work rate for him on Sunday, but we need a bit more than that. We need him to hold the ball up a bit better.
Yeah, I've been trying to defend Wood, and not necessarily for Wood, but mostly because I'm so used to it being so crap, and I'm sort of saying stop being negative to myself, and I don't want to have a go straight away. 5 minutes into the game, the ball came straight off him, and I kind of, I said to my last was sitting watching. I was like, Wood needs to control it better than that. Kind of what you're saying. And I'm looking at him, and I want to give him an easy ride. I thought he does. For me, he put himself about. He was grafting like he tries to do every game. I thought he looked a bit nervous, to be honest. Some of his touches is almost like he was trying too hard, and it wasn't coming off for him. And just for the first time, it sort of seemed as if it was just a little bit of a disconnect. But I mean, again, like you're saying, like everyone's saying, still his work rate, he's there for a reason. I like him in the team. I would agree, certainly against Chelsea. I would have liked to have seen that ball stick a bit more and take the pressure off, but wasn't to be. And I'm not going to call him for it. He didn't do it on purpose. So.
Williams saying ASM will not be a regular in the team next year. He will be used as an impact player. Then he will not like that and demand a move. Watch this space. Rochi says you have to bang on door or a barn door more often to even consider a Ballon d'Or.
What?
I see where he's coming from. It's all right, Ryan. Miggy, Fraser, Wood, Joe Linton, Shelby, Willock, Burn, Target, Sharman, Keogh, Dubravka. Interesting side that I can't see Miggy starting, though. I just cannot see Miggy starting against Everton. What does he do with the defence? I mean, Wayne's saying there, will Lascelles be dropped? Peter, does he drop him and go back to the back four?
Absolutely. I mean, this is Everton, who are just rank bad at the moment, really struggling, and just don't look like winning a football game. You want to go all out against them, full on attack, because they really can be got at Everton. And that's why they've been really, really struggling. The way they've conceded goals left, right, and centre. So you go back to that for the back and you go to the 4-3-3 formation that's been working and really put the game at them.
Yeah. Buller Boy says ASM in a poor team. First on the sheet. In our team now, no. He's going to have to earn it back. So, interesting.
From who?
What's our average possession?
Who did so well?
Did you see Alex?
Did Murphy
when he was reading that? He was good.
Did Murphy do that much of a good job to keep ASM out? Really? He was okay.
I was Southampton.
Yeah, I agree. He wasn't that great, Murphy.
Murphy was very poor.
Toon says as well, we have a better game without Maxi on the pitch. Once he comes on, he thinks it's all about him. He gets tackled, throws a fit, loses the ball, throws a fit again, falls on his ass, throws a fit after being attacked. I mean,
can see Alex's rage meter just get building up.
I mean, he's only got our highest goal contributions in the whole squad, and it's fine. We'll just call him crap, shall we? I don't get it.
I'm only reading the comments that are coming out. I mean, this is
not you, Paul. It's just the comments.
I am quite surprised. I'm very surprised at the negativity.
The thing is, I agree with the comments about the selfishness and I agree with a lot of the criteria. I just don't. I'm not panicking as much about it. I think it's
there's
all
another
fixable.
one. Keep Murphy. ASM is too unpredictable. Never looks up. So often players standing in excellent positions for him to go on and lose the ball. Without Shelby to cover up his mistakes, it's a no-go for me.
Murphy's predictably shit half the time.
The thing is, though, for Thursday, I could see there's two scenarios, right? Obviously, if Coleman's a right back, you could start Murphy and get Coleman tired early and then bring ASM on early in the second half, and he's got so much time to run a tired Coleman, but like this, like there's for me, you could start him and not start him. I can see both arguments. That's all I'm saying. I can see both sides of it.
Maxi was amazing against Everton last time and improved and was doing those passes, making those assists.
Listen, Maxi. And
then what? We're basing this on 21 minutes.
Sorry, I'm not.
But he was fit then. He was fit then. How fit is he now? That's the thing.
Well, yeah, that's why we shouldn't be so hard on him. He played 21 minutes with he's not match fit, and everybody's going mad at him.
No, going back to 2 comments ago, some guy said AXM's too unpredictable. That's what you want from a winger.
Micah Richards literally said, "I'd be terrified to play against him because he's unpredictable." So that's a positive from an ex-defender. Like, you're just spinning it. We're all saying the same thing. People are just spinning it positive or negative.
Some of the biggest cult heroes that this club has ever had have been predictably unpredictable.
Exactly.
If that makes sense. Someone like Faustino, Beardsley was fairly unpredictable. I mean, some of the best players this club's ever had.
100%.
And loved by the fans due to their unpredictability.
Patton Ben because there wasn't Twitter back in the day.
Well, I mean, yeah. But listen, I want to talk about as well. I want to talk about just what's been said about Newcastle United in the media. I know we don't touch on politics, but I think we have to stick up for our club in this instance because Eddie Howe's in the firing line constantly with this. And I thought, the questions that were asked of him after the Chelsea game were rank, if you ask me. I don't know how many times he had to tell the idiots. Basically, that's the only word I can come up for them. The idiots that were sitting in the asking the questions. How many times he said, "I'm here to concentrate on football." Is there any part of you?
If I could jump through my screen and fly to England, I'd beat the living shit out of these journalists, man. Like they piss me off. Like, shut the fuck up. Go and interview Mirdad or Mohammed bin Salman if you want to ask these questions. But no, you gotta fraud your way
Boris
through.
Johnson. That's Boris Johnson. He's the
You
prime
gotta
minister.
fraud
For
your way
crying out
through
loud.
and get a press conference, force your way in, and ask a football manager these questions. Like, shut the fuck up.
The irony of the question coming from a US journalist in which the death penalty still exists in their country as well.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what as well though, right? I never hear when PSG play over here, when Pochettino comes over, I never hear them say, what do you think about being run by a Qatar state who have got just as worse statistics as Saudi Arabia? I've never heard them once say that to them. I've never heard them once say to Ralph Ragnick, what do you think about having Saudi investment in Man United? Or
And
the
there's some
American
guy on Sky
owned
Sports,
team.
Felix Jenkins, I saw yesterday. That guy pissed the living shit out of me. He's saying Eddie Howe should come out and say this and that. That's not his job.
Why should he? He should say what he can say what he wants. But he's doing the right way.
Another
He's doing
thing
the right
too
way.
is
He's not
that
giving the media satisfaction.
There's journalists twisting what Eddie Howe said when he's like, I know what's going on in the world. We all know he's talking about what's going on in Eastern Europe. But the media think he knows what's going on in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
I think
someone just
Can I just say as well, not all the 81 people that were executed were all terrorists related to Al Qaeda. So I'm sorry, but if journalists are going to not bring that up fact, then they need to get their facts straight. If them people are,
I
These
know more.
journalists need to be sacked, bro. Get them out of press conferences now.
Yeah, I was just going to
Well,
touch on that, and Alex touched on it before there, but I think, is it Lee Marshall who's currently the head of media at Newcastle? I know he has been for a good few years, and I think it's possibly it's going to be either his job or someone coming in to be as a buffer to deflect those sort of questions. But next season, I think at the minute they're playing it quite crafty, in as much as that if they were to get that person in that role at the minute to be stood there or sat next to Howe, sort of saying you can't ask that question, you can't ask that.
That's what they're doing
That
now,
would be
yeah.
too hot to handle at the minute. They would get a lot of stick for that. So I think what probably the intention, I imagine, and again, I'm just guessing, but probably to start next season, they'll have someone in there in that role to facilitate that kind of job. But at the minute, they'll get called out for it badly if they brought someone in to do it. So
They
they probably
do it for
just
other
said to Howe,
reasons.
listen,
When
don't
we weren't
say
sure
anything yet.
about the transport, we weren't sure if
Right.
we were staying or not staying. Mid-interview, Eddie Howe goes and confers with his team about
Right.
the transport situation. Why can't we
Right.
do this with politics
So,
and matters that he doesn't know
possibly
about?
so that
It's the same
person
thing, right?
is currently in place.
Yeah.
It might be Lee Marshall, but he's possibly been instructed not to say anything so far because they'll get picked up on it. They get called out for it. Oh, look at the
exactly.
deflection they're trying to do. So Eddie's maybe just been sort of
Yeah.
said, don't say anything at the minute. When it comes to next season, then we'll deflect for you. And I think that's possibly what's going to happen.
I'd credit Eddie Howe because I'd lose my mind and I'd just get out of my chair and just knock them out.
Loads of angry Canadians.
There was one
Too much
question
ice hockey.
where he said it like, "Oh yeah, how do you feel about Mohammed bin Salman bankrolling your football club?" And I'm thinking, bankrolling? They've only been here 6 months. We've had one transfer window. If they ended up leaving, let's say in the summer, would we be an unsustainable club? No, we'd be fine because we'd be in the Premier League. We'd meet all our obligations. To say we're bankrolled is just stupid.
Don't look
This is
too
what they were
much into
saying
the
today.
questions. They're just loaded questions to get a reaction. They're just
Yeah, it's
divisive
ridiculous.
questions.
This was
Trying
TalkSport
to
today.
get a
They said-
reaction out Eddie Howe. That's the only reason.
They
he's saying
literally said that we are enjoying the fruits of the ownership in the same way that Chelsea and City have. And I was like, hang on a minute, we're 14th. We haven't had 20 years of trophies yet. We've had 9 months of Eddie Howe, or nine months of the takeover, or 7. I don't even know how long it's been. But
Also,
we haven't had
we'll have
anything, but
FFP to deal with. We'll have FFP to
not
deal with.
basking
They
in anything.
didn't.
Well, exactly. It's
My
not like we've
point
had
is
any
too is that
fruition
like
from it
every
yet.
ownership, you dig deep and there's something like rotten or something. Like even Arsenal's owner, bro. Like I swear, like he's in a taxidermy or some shit. Like that's fucked up.
Can I just say I love a masturbate?
Body cams on refs. Can you imagine the Joe Linton post-match ref cam of him just tearing towards the referee? Like,
yeah, that would be like watching a great white shark attacking a baby seal, wouldn't it? I mean, Jesus Christ, he was straight in there. Peter, what did you think of Bruno's performances over the last 2 games?
Done pretty well. I mean, just that Southampton goal. I mean, what? I've never seen a goal like that in my life in terms of a back heel goal. I mean, that was just quality. He's done pretty well. He's definitely a bit of fresh air, and it'd be interesting to see if he keeps his place on Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting that, because if he goes back to a 3, it means obviously that he's no longer, one of them has got to come out. Now, the question is if he keeps Bruno in the side, who does he leave out? Jason?
Oh, it's a tough one. I had to think about it a lot, and in my team prediction, I did drop Shelby. I went to. I think it's going to go back to the 4-4-3 because we're just going to absolutely obliterate Everton.
4-4-3. What formation is that?
4-3-3.
Well, we have the ref on our side this time.
4-3-3. Well,
4-4-3. I think we'd be fined.
You never know. We'll just unplug VAR ourselves and just say it's just a glitch. But I would have dropped. I had a big think about it, and I thought, Willock is starting to come on leaps and bounds now. He's starting to show that form he had at the back end of last season, so I wouldn't want to drop him now. Joe Linton, he's now one that just walks straight into the team now. So why not have Joe Linton and Bruno together along with Willock for me? It'd be hard to drop Shelby because he is starting to show some really good performances, but it'd be those 3 for me.
Interesting. Right, would you leave out?
Against Everton, it depends if Joe Linton's fit or not. If he is fit, it'll be Joe Linton, Bruno, and Willock. That'll be my 3 in the middle as well. But if he's not fit, then Shelby. I don't want to see Longstaff again. I mean, he had an okay game, but I did write on Facebook. Every single player gave 100%, but unfortunately, his 100% is not good enough. And
very true.
That's
Jim makes a good point there. Jim makes a good point there, saying Gale was booked within 30 minutes of coming on. He was just terrible. Terrible tackle. Barbara says I couldn't hear anything. Don't worry, Barbs. We'll get you on at some stage. You'll just have to get yourself off dial-up internet that John's on at the minute, because John Sinclair's on it as well. He obviously needs to come off as well.
He'll be having a meltdown because Man United are getting beat tonight. He'll be having a meltdown.
They are, yeah. He will be. Mind you, I loved how he was doing the show with Maisie tonight. He was a massive Man United fan, and they were still on their live stream 20 minutes into the Man United game. So
did you see the title of the video as well?
Rolling
back the years, Ronaldo, back to the best.
They're getting beat at the moment as well.
They are indeed. They'll be very, very unhappy, but there you go. Toon Fan J7 says, loving the stream, Paul. Thank you very much. Paul Kinson says, we wouldn't be where we are now without ASM, and he should have a surfer flag. He's that good. Interesting. Foxy says, what's wrong with our fan base? Judging ASM attitude and personally based off what? I'm pretty sure the majority don't know him personally. Remember Tino, legend, but he was a nightmare at times as well. We've mentioned that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Chippers, does he? If he could start, let's face it, he could start at Everton on Thursday. He could be absolutely amazing. Certainly his best game of the season was the Everton game at St. James's. But again, the problem I've got is, does he come straight in and upset the balance of the team, as in this team has gone on such a good unbeaten run, and Maxi has missed what, 4? Is it 3 or 4 games now?
He played Brighton. He only played against Brighton, didn't he, for half an hour or something, and that's it. And obviously Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's remarkable how we've gone from in the space of this time last year from imagine if we would saying, "Oh, I don't want ESM in the team." It's remarkable how things in the past year have changed. Right, but for me, it's a case of how fit is he. That's all I want to know is if he's fit to start him. If he's not fit to start, then don't start him because I know Eddie Howe will do that because he's not Steve Bruce. He won't just throw him in whether he's fit or not. He will know if he's 100% or not by his training, and if he's not starting, then he's obviously not 100% fit still. If he's starting, then he's obviously 100%. So that's it. If he's 100%.
Absolutely not. They will start. It's possible that they could start him with the assumption of giving him 60 minutes or 70 minutes. They do that all the time. That's a very normal practice. He wouldn't just not start if he's. That's not how it's done at all. Sorry, dude, but it's.
The only thing I would say is it's ESM, and because of his injuries, that's why he has to be 100%. Not because he can't be 50, 60, 70% because he seems to. That's where he seems to. He doesn't perform to the level of what we want to see of him. So that's why I think he's got to be 100% if to start him. That's why I know you probably disagree with us, but that's why I think.
Well, no, if you think that's fair. I just mean, but people do start players who aren't 100% fit with the plan of early sub-offs. But if you mention in performance, then that's fine. That makes sense. If you think he needs to be 100% to give a performance, then that's a fair opinion.
Especially the fact of Seamus Coleman's going to be their right back. I think he could have a field day for the full 90 against him.
Yeah,
because he's made of glass.
45 against Seamus Coleman. I think he'll destroy him.
Yeah.
I think anybody should destroy him. I think even bloody Jacob Murphy should destroy him. But I think ESM has got more of an end product, hasn't he? That's why.
I just saw a comment there saying about ESM's average goals per season being 4.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you consider our top goals, if you take Wilson out the equation for the last few seasons, I mean, that's probably our second highest scorer. So, I get the point. It's easy to look at statistics and go, he needs to do more than 4. But then so did everyone in the team. And those 4 goals were 4 more than people who else should be scoring as well. So
the past couple of years, we've been averaging 1 shot on target a game with Bruce. So
exactly. So 4 goals isn't bad, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's got 5 goals. Is almost half our goals.
He's on 8 goal contributions, and he's unfortunate not to be on more because there was a lot of chances people didn't put away against Everton last time. He should be on 10 goal contributions easy. People just can't finish their dinner sometimes.
Yeah. There was a game last season that he had 3 assists in one game.
What game was that?
Bournemouth. I think Bournemouth. Yeah.
Burnley home or something.
Or was it? Yeah, it was at home.
It was 4-1 away at Bournemouth.
That was the lock. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
on a different note,
Jim says, look at the misery we had with our players we've had for years. Howe comes in and look at them now. ASM will be sorted. Faith in Howe.
Exactly.
I mean, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I mean, there might not be any problem with ASM at all with attitude or anything like that. I mean, to be honest, I've never heard. I've never heard anybody at the club or any word coming out of the club that ASM does have a bad attitude. I think he does a lot in the community. I definitely know that much. And he certainly, when he speaks about Newcastle, he speaks very highly. So I don't know, where the bad attitude thing comes from. I think, possibly he's just a target, and he just people will jump on the bandwagon.
2 and 2 together and coming up with 10, really, in it. Just assuming that, based around. I mean, fair enough, not clapping the fans or whatever. I'm not. That's probably fact because people are saying that's happened. But then just assuming off the back of that then that leads to X, Y, and Z as a result. It's like you can't just do the guessing game.
Yeah, I think. But how many times do we say that about our fan base sometimes, and then they start bitching on with each other, and then it just goes.
One thing as well, I'll say
just goes to hell.
Is when things don't go his way and he's wanting to be off. I don't like that side of it where he's signaling on the bench and he wants to be off because it's not going his way. I just think, just get on with it. like what he did at Liverpool early on the season, where he was wanting to be off for half an hour ago because things weren't going his way, yes, but he needs to realise we're playing Liverpool. Not many teams are going to go there and win, and we were struggling at that time as well. That's one.
I mean, there was a lot of backlash on him for that because people did notice that at Liverpool. To be fair,
I mean that's just reminded me of Paulo Di Canio wanting to be subbed off and then going on to you hadn't. Can anyone remember that game? Di Canio when he was asking to be subbed off because he can get 2 pens, and then he was incredible that game. But some players are just like that. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with it, but sometimes you've just got to take the rough with the smooth with some players because they're capable of doing something that other players aren't. So you're going to get those enigmatic personalities, and he is one of them. I mean, I disagree with being asked to be pulled off, but then, what he needs is Eddie Howe just to go, listen, Maxi, just crack on, will you? And then he could pull something out the hat, which Di Canio did on that day. I've just reminded us of that memory there.
Archer, good evening. Had a shave about 5 minutes ago, did you?
Hi.
How are you doing?
How are you?
Good. And what were your thoughts on the last 2 games?
It was great that we beat Southampton. But Chelsea, we got robbed. Literally got robbed. Yeah. We should have at least had a penalty. But it wasn't to be. So we're just gonna move on against Everton on Thursday night, I believe.
It is Thursday night, Archer. Well done. Don't get it. Don't miss the game, mate.
Not like Ryan, who forgot his daylight savings and missed the start of the match.
I missed half an hour of the game.
So clocks don't go back in the Canada, but they go back for us or forward, whichever way they went.
It's forward this time, isn't it?
I don't know. It's all automated. I haven't even bothered.
Yeah, it's forward because you lose an hour.
Yeah, spring forward, fall back.
The clocks went back from me on Sunday, but I'm used to going to bed late, so I put an alarm like an hour before kickoff, and I slept through it, I guess.
So are you guys over there on Canadian time, or do you match up with France?
We're not even close to French time.
Well, I know, but you're not close to French time, but you'd love to be close to the French, judging by how most of you talk.
Oh, I mean, I'm so close to it. Yeah.
We are Canadian, but we talk like we are French. I do not understand. Why do you have to talk in the French way?
Oh, Ryan, there's been a few comments midweek about Jonathan David not doing well, and you're not going to be very happy about that. I don't know if you've seen them.
That's all the laughs you them.
No, I haven't. I keep reminding myself to watch more Lille games, but international break's coming up, so I'll get to see him again.
Oh.
Now, does he play for Canada or does he play for France, Ryan?
He's not even connected with France. He's born in Haiti, but he moved. But he
plays for Canada.
He's French. He's French Haitian, but he emigrated to Canada. Into Ottawa.
They've always got to have friggin' French in them, haven't they? For some reason. I mean, what's the big thing with France and you Canadians? Like, I'm sure the French eat frogs and you eat beavers. I mean, you're very, very strange people, to be honest.
Paulie plays for Franada. Have you heard of that country?
Franada, yeah. It's a new joint passport. I am Franadian,
Okay, Quebec does want to become its own country, so let them be.
Quebec, man, Jesus Christ! Listen,
I'm Ontario. I'm Ontario, though.
People from Quebec, right, speak French Canadian, and you can't understand a word they say, even when they're speaking British. Because they talk they've got that much of a strong French accent. You always know when you're coming into Quebec.
Especially the way they drive.
The smell of onions in the airport is incredible.
Would you like my onion?
You like my onion, huh? You want to play with my onions?
You like the smell of my onions,
you can't get
boys and girls.
You can't differentiate between a French and Canadian French accent. They're two different things.
I don't care. Anyway, let's move on because it is prediction time now. Archer, seeing as you're on for like 5 minutes a shot every fan forum. I'm sure you just jump on to show us what you've done with your face lately anyway. That's one of the things. Dark, hang on a minute. Hang on. Morgul says, oh, come on, computer. Hurry up, man, and catch up, will you? For God's sake. Oh, come on. Eat beavers. Who doesn't? We're not getting into that one.
It's not Monday night.
Shut up. You're from Chestnut Street. I know what that means. Dark by Design says, Canada is beautiful. The food there is amazing.
It is in Newfoundland.
There's not much Canadian cuisine. Like, you eat other cuisines, to be honest. It's like out.
Well, no, because most of Canada's cuisine is French. Anyway,
would you like
Archer?
Stats.
Sorry, Alex, go on.
Sorry, I've got some stats just for the old Maxi debate. So everybody loves Rafinha from Leeds. Everybody's saying, oh, if Leeds go down, we'd love him here, we'd love him there. He's going to go to a Champions League team, this Champions League team, that. Everybody loves him. Well, he's got, if you exclude non-penalty goals, if you look at non-penalty goals, he's got one more than Maxi this season, and they have the same amount of assists. And they produce very similar numbers in terms of pressures and dribbles. And let's be honest, he's got one more non-penalty goal. He's got more goals. How many penalties should we have had this season? And how much would that have influenced Maxi's numbers? You know, there's a good 5 shouts for us to have penalties this season throughout the course of the season.
How many games have they played each, Alex? How many games have they played each?
He's played 27 and Maxi's played 25. So he's had 2 additional games to get the 1 extra non-penalty goal. So they're putting up pretty much identical numbers. And Rafinha just gets constantly applauded and praised and linked with massive moves, and Maxi just gets constantly criticised. So
if Maxi played for Leeds, Newcastle fans would be saying, "Hey, if Leeds go down, we should go after that Sam Maximan." Like, they definitely would.
Yeah. Just a comparison. I'm not saying one's wrong, one's right.
We would. Yeah, we would. There's no doubt about that. Anyway, Archer, prediction time for Thursday night against our friends of the Scouse Macamness. Actually, Ryan, there's just a comment came in saying, do you have maple syrup on everything in Canada?
Bacon's the biggest one, but it's actually pretty
good. Bacon my ass.
I'm telling you, it's so good. No, it's really good.
Try it, Ryan. I've had bacon in Canada, and it does not taste anything like bacon that I have in this country. It's like Americans as well. You have bacon in America is just it's just hot ham. That's all bacon is in America. It's not bacon. And
bacon here is bacon. You guys have your bacon.
Surely that's what it is.
Yeah, but Ryan, you have bacon on beaver. It doesn't make sense.
I love bacon and beaver.
Different show.
Right, you can tell where you used to go drinking crocodillos, my man. My God, honestly. Anyway, right. Morgul says if it's Paul doing the accent, it always ends up Jamaican. It does actually. It does change to Jamaican eventually. But hey, my French was all right there.
Eddie Grant.
Right. Piss off. Right. Archer. Scoreline for Thursday.
I'm going to go with Everton 1, Newcastle United 3.
3
again.
And who's going to score?
Bruno.
Yeah.
With that flick that he did against Southampton.
Going to do it blindfolded this time.
Never know.
Another flick, like.
I'm kind of going with Wood and St. Maximin.
Hey, there you go. I'll tell you what, I hope he does. Cheers for coming on, buddy. See you next time.
Catch me out.
Mr. Proudlock.
3-1 Newcastle as well, I'm going for.
Another 3-1. Wow.
And
the goal scorers?
Oh, no, go.
Go ahead, Ryan.
Ryan.
You laughed at me when I said 5 at the back on Friday, remember?
I know, I did. I thought
you got that wrong.
I did, actually.
Mystic Meg.
Yeah, there you are. But yeah, I'm going to go with Wood, ASM, and Fraser to get the goals.
Wood, ASM, and Fraser. Interesting. Paul's going 3-1. Morgan's going 4-1 to the Toon. Neil is going 5-0 to the Toon with a halftime score. Okay.
Wow.
Cesar is going 3-1 to the Toon. Barbara says, I've missed the whole damn thing. Trying to get on. Don't know what's up with my internet. Oh, bless her. Darren says 3-1, 3-0 Toon, I should say. Tangy's going for a Bruno Bacchio hat-trick against Little Lambs, 3-0.
That'd be something.
Toon Dave says 4-0 Wood hat-trick. Jim says a bacon and beaver sandwich. Let's not go there.
That doesn't sound too bad.
Right. Peter, thanks for coming on, buddy. I'll speak to you soon, mate.
Catch you, man.
Take care. Rohan. Scoreline, please, my man.
I see everyone's very confident. I'm not as confident.
Yeah, we're getting quite a few. Well, everybody's predicted Newcastle to win in the comments so far.
I'm not as confident because I think Everton. I know they've been rubbish, but I think they'll have to turn up, and if they don't, then they're in real bother. So I think, look, if we were looking at these 3 away games, the Chelsea, Southampton, Everton, looking to probably get 4 points, you'd be happy with that. So I think it's probably I think we'll draw this game 2-2. That's what I honestly think.
Yeah,
I think Everton will turn up, and I think it'll be a difficult game. And I think one of us will get a goal, and Joe Willock will get a second.
Okay, cool. Right, well, thanks for coming on, buddy. Speak to you next week.
All right, cheers.
Take care. Luke.
Yes, indeed.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it for the boy. Right. I'm not as confident as everyone's sounding in the comments there. I think it is going to be difficult because I think Everton will play better, but at the same time, they are really devoid of confidence. I still fancy with a nick it. So I'm going to go for 1-0, and I'm going to go for the arch nemesis, Chris Wood, to bag another one. 1-0. Oh, furious with that one, like. I've got a sneaky suspicion he might nod another one in, and it's not going to be plain sailing. But I think we'll hold on. We'll probably got a bit too much confidence. It all going to depend as well on what Howe says tomorrow in his press conference as to who he may sort of allude to is coming back. So I'm kind of doing a lot of guesswork with what my team's going to be, as we were kind of, thrown off a bit by the Chelsea team, or the team that played against Chelsea, I should say. So again, I'm going to kind of probably reserve judgment until, but you're asking for how I feel now. I think we'll sneak it 1-0. I'm still confident. Mm-hmm.
Well, I hope
and
you're
also,
right, mate.
apparently, we're getting Mickey Mourinho back. Have you heard that today? Mikel Mourinho's been linked with it again. So
he left homesick, didn't he?
I cannot see it.
I know, but apparently he said that he gets goosebumps whenever he thinks of Newcastle, which is only to be.
I have him on the back of one of my shirts.
When he thinks of those bridges, goosebumps.
Of course.
Yeah, we'll see. Cheers for coming on, Luke. Take care. See you soon.
Cheers, lads. All the best. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, Jason.
Well, we're currently on a 3-match winning streak against Everton, so I'm confident with that. I'm going for a 3-1 win.
And your goal scorers?
Goal scorers, as I said in my preview, that I would rest Chris Wood, but if he's not, I will replace Gal as one of my goal scorers with Chris Wood. I'll give him the goal. The other 2, I'll go for Bruno, and I'm going to go a bit off course there for the third one. I'm saying he's been playing amazing, and I think he definitely deserves a goal. I'm going to say Matt Targett's going to get a goal.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to see Matty Targett get on the score sheet. Yeah.
Can I ask Jason, what are you resting Wood for our fixture in 2 weeks' time after the Everton game?
That's what
I know that because of the Palace game now being postponed. But I just think with all these games coming so close together and the way Howe's been rotating the squad, that players will need to eventually be rested.
It's dropping him. It's not resting him. You gotta give it what it is, man. It's dropping him, isn't
Whatever. He'll be on the bloody bench. You gotta play.
The Cockney's very angry right now.
Jesus Christ. Cheers, Jason. Catch you soon, matey.
Catch you later.
Take care.
Yeah, mate.
Chippers.
He really hates Wood.
He does. He's
I think we'll win 2-1, but I think it'll be a comfortable 2-1 because they may come at us, but I think they'll leave that much gaps at the back. We'll just exploit it. And with the likes of Coleman playing at right back, I think there's going to be so much joy for whoever plays. If it's ASM or Murphy on the left wing, there's going to have so much joy that we're going to create a lot of chances. And I think we'll go 2-0 up comfortably. And I'm going to say Chris Wood. And I'm going to say Ryan Fraser, and then they'll probably score the second half, and we'll be thinking, oh, edge of the seat stuff, but we'll hold them comfortably. So that's what I think will happen. 2-1 win.
Fair enough. Cool. Right. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Take care.
Ryan.
3-0 Newcastle. I'm going to go
and the goal
with
scorers?
ASM 2. And I hope to God he's fit. Joe Willock.
ASM with 2 and Joe Willock.
Yeah.
Well, if ASM scores 2, I think there'll be a lot of people with egg on the face. But we shall see. Right, I'll let you go and have some beaver for your tea or dinner, as you call it over there. And we'll speak soon, mate.
Yeah.
Take care.
See you Thursday for a watch along, Alex.
Yeah, take care, dude.
See ya.
Thursday for a watch along, Alex. Would you like to explain that?
I'd just watch it with Ryan in Discord when we've got you guys on watch alongs.
I see. Oh.
We're alone, you see. He watches it alone. I watch it alone. Different countries. It's nice to share football. It's good.
It brings people together, Alex. Right, come on, King of Qatar. Let's hear it.
I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks. They've got a few games after ours, and then they're going to go through a really hard patch of hard games. Everton, so they need to win in the next 3-4 games. I'm going to go 1-1, and Maxi will score because he's on my fantasy team. And then I'll see Chris Wood in Qatar next week.
Yes, he will.
He's coming here.
They come out for he's with New Zealand, isn't he?
Yeah, they've got the World Cup qualifiers, and he's playing the 3rd game at Al Arabi where I work, and the semi-final and the final. So they are the favourites with Papua New Guinea, who played. They played the game against some amateur guys from a school, and they barely won it. Wow. So I think New Zealand is just going to cruise that.
Hopefully he can get his confidence up with a hat trick.
Yeah,
I'm going to see him anyway and see how tall he is. I'll get some photos done. I'm not going to get him to ruin any of my shirts. Get them signed.
No, don't do that. Don't do
See
that.
if you can get him to hold up a "Hi Jason" sign or something.
Yeah, love you, Jason. Yeah, that would be good. Thanks for coming on, Roy. Take care. We'll see you next week, mate.
See you next week.
Take care.
See you guys. Bye.
Right, of course, me and Alex won't be giving our scores away because that will be on the preview show tomorrow. Keith, thanks for the $10 super chat. I hope they don't bottle job this one. Literally everyone wants Everton to go down. Yep, they do. Right, that is it for the show tonight, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Big thank you to all the guests that came on tonight onto the panel. And to you, Alex, and of course the mods backstage, keeping the chat nice and clean again. Thank you very much for the hard work that they put in. Thank you to everybody that super chatted tonight. And obviously a big thank you to our continued sponsors, Geordie Riffs, premium guitar lessons for beginners and children, guitar repairs and servicing, in which they're offering 10% off each one. They do have a recording studio available as well, and your first guitar lesson completely free of charge if you quote the Toon review. You can find them at geordieriffs.co.uk, Instagram at Geordie Riffs, and Facebook Geordie Riffs Official. And if you have enjoyed tonight's show, please do hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you've seen, please also do hit the subscribe button. Almost at the 10 grand stage now, which will be incredible. So please do consider subscribing, pass it on to friends and family. and get them involved in the Toon Review family as well. You can become a member as well if you hit the join button just underneath the video, or the link is in the description. And you can catch us on Facebook. So if you want to be part of the Toon Review Facebook group, just look for the Toon Review, click to join, and myself or one of the admin staff will approve. But please make sure that you do agree to the rules of the group, so that when you come through to us, it's already stated there that you've agreed. That would be fab. And you can also catch us on Instagram as well. Tomorrow night, me and Alex are back with the match preview for the game against Everton on Thursday. So we'll be looking at possible lineups, formations, tactics, etc., etc. So join me and Alex at 9 p.m. for that one tomorrow night. And I'm sure Alex will have some groovy graphics to show you for the big game on Thursday night. And then, of course, I will be back on Thursday night with the watch along at 7:15. So join me for live commentary of the game. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening and enjoy your Wednesday. And we'll see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Good night, folks.